is Permatasari from class B in the morning of semester 5. In this video, I will explain material about the basic notion in semantic and the following explanation. Okay, first I can explain about the basic understanding of semantic. In the word semantic comes from the Greek sema, which means sign or symbol. Semantic was first used by French psychologist named Michel Bert in the 1883. The word semantic was later agreed upon, a term used for the field of the linguistic which study linguistics with the things distinctive. Therefore, the word semantic can be interpreted as the science of the meaning or about meaning, which one the third level of language analysis phonology, grammar, and semantic. Church 1994. Semantic from Greek semantic cause a given thing important from the word sema things. In the birth of language, the study the meaning contained in language code or other type in the representation in the word semantic in the study of meaning. Semantic is usually associated with two other aspects: syntax, the formulation of complex symbol from the cipher symbol, and pragmatic, the practical use of symbol by communicators in the certain context. Okay, next I can explain about the aspect of semantic knowledge. First, anomaly. We know in general way whether something is or is not meaningful in our language, and we can tell which of the following are meaningful in English. For example, 3A, great word, a letter. 3B, Henry smiled. 3C, the grass language, and the last 3D, wall Harry painted. We can see that 3A and 3B are meaningful to speakers of English, while 3C and 3D are anomalous examples of the anomaly. They are generally accepted to be correct, while sentence 3C appear to be meaningful, and I might attain meaning in some children's story of the like, while 3D is the merely and squash of words. 2. Paraphrase. Two following first and second part tenses have essentially the same meaning and the when they do not such as in the following tensions. For A, Agnes arrived before Ruth. For B, Ruth arrived before Agnes. For C, Agnes come home after Ruth. And the last, for D, Ruth come home later than Agnes. Tension does make a equivalent tensions about the same entities like for A and for C, or for B and for D are paraphrase of each other. 3. Synonym. We generally agree when two words have essentially the same meaning in a given context. In each extension below, one word is the underline. Following the extension is a group of words, one of which can replace the underlined word without change in the meaning of the extension. For example, 5A, where did you purchase these tools? Used by release modif take. And 5B, at the end of the street we saw two animals to this. Pink smoothness hawk original word that have the same sentence in a given context. The synonym they are in terms of synonym and are synonym with each other. Contradictory. Next, contradictory. We recall when the meaning of this tension contrast another tension. This tension below are about the same person, but two of them are related in such a way that if one is true, the other must be false. Example, sick A. Edgar is married. Sick B. Edgar is fairly rich. And the sick C. Edgar is no longer young. Sick D. Edgar is a beller. Tension is the take opposite statement about the same subject of contradictory. Next, antonym. We generally agree when two words have opposite meaning in a given context. We are able to choose from the group word following. For example, to A and to B, the word which contrasts to the underlined word in each tension. To A, Betty cut the thin slice of cakes. To B, the train depart at 12:25. Bread the soft tin with arrive leaf with servers. We see two words that make opposite statements about the same subject for antonym. There are antonym in kinds of antonym. Next, semantic feature. We know that synonym and antonym have to have some common elements of meaning in order to be respectively the same of different, but word can have some element of the meaning without being synonym or antonym. For example, A street land road pet house avenue, and B biotech use still occur inherit. The common element of meaning searched by but one word in A and by all but one item in XB. Is a semantic feature we shall all agree that in each the group of words about A and XB but one the word have something common and we have which the word that does belong. Next, ambiguity. When some sentences have double meaning that can be interpreted in two ways, we are aware of these effects that there shall be two-way interpretation, like the following for example, name A. Major does care for her parakeets. Don't like it, don't take care of it. And 9B, Major take the sick parakeet to a small animal hospital. Small hospital for animal or hospital for small animals. One the aspects of how meaning word in the language is ambigu. Extension ambigu when it has two or more possible meaning. But how does ambigu arise in language? Extension can ambigu of the either of the following reason. Next, adjacency part. When a question and answer or any two utterances can go together in the conversation and the second is abusive relates to the first. They consult and the accusative verb. For example, 10A. When did you last read an article? 10 minutes ago. Last Tuesday. Very nice. Around noon. I think it was on the 1st of June. And 9B. There's a new film at Studio 21 tonight. So I love her. One is the cult. When did happen? So I do are. You are sure it's a comedy? The ability to come with the agency part is the considered as part of any speaker implicates knowledge. Okay, the last I will explain about the persuasion. We know that half message conveyed in the extension may purpose other pieces of knowledge. For instance, if the opposite as true, 12b some and 12a must also be accepted as true. For example, 12A. Evan usually drives his Toyota to work. 12B. There is the person named Evan. 12C. Evan was. 12D. There is Toyota that belongs to Evan. 12A. Evan know how to drive a car. To meaning of extension 12A, the purpose what is operates in 12B, C, D, and A, the letter R, percentage of 12L, not a purpose to a talbis of anything extension 12S is meaningful is but true only is there person named Evan. With word and the word Toyota is other. The extension person is the left person named Evan. Okay, next material I can explain about the ultrans extension and proportion in semantics. Ultrans and ultran is natural unit of speech bounded by the birds of prose, and ultran is the complete unit of thought. Brand is the speaker, a silent and ultra in also a sound of thought that humor produces. The characteristics of ultran: first, it is spoken to physical events, so they may be grammatical or not. Remember, ultran do not to focus the grammatical aspect, and for meaningful of meaningless by speaker person in particular accents, by speaker time the particular occasion in speech language, a single phrase or even a single word. For example, to word ultrans, look her, paper cup, my bottle, cook card. The different ultran extension. We use the quote mark in word from the ultran. For example, a pitch of the ultran that's spoken by chartling person. I'm student. Next, I will explain about sentence. Sentence is a group of words that are put together to mean something. A sentence is the basic unit of language which express a complete thought. It does this by following the grammatical rule of syntax. Here are some kinds of the tense. First, simple tense. A simple tense, also called an independent clause, contains subject and verb, and it expresses a complete thought. In the following simple tense, subject are in yellow and verb in green. An independent clause for a main clause is a clause that can stand by itself, also known as a simple tense. An independent clause contains a subject for a predicate if it makes sense by itself. Multiple independent clause can be tried by using a semicolon of the common clause of coordinating conjunction. For example, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and the last so. And independent clause, something called to be a subordinate clause, is a clause the augment an independent clause with the additional information, but which cannot stand alone without a stench. Dependent clause modify the independent clause of a sentence or a server of the component of it. Some grammar use the term subordinate clause as a synonym for dependent clause. But some grammar subordinate clause refer to only adverbial dependent clause. There are also different types of dependent clause, like the noun clause, relative or adjectival clause, and the adverbial clause. For example, first, some students like to study in the morning. For example, two, Juan and Outer play football every afternoon. And the last Alicia goes to library and study every day. The three examples about are a simple tense. Not that tense, not that tense B contain a compound subject, and the sentence C contain a compound verb. Simple tense therefore contain a subject and verb, and express a complete thought by the by but they can also contain a compound subject or verb. 2. Compound tense. A compound tense contains two independent clauses joined by the coordinator. The coordinator as a follow example for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Couple hand the first letter of each to the coordinator spells the fanboys, except for the first short tense. Coordinator are the always preceded by a comma. In the following compound tense, subject are in subject are in yellow, verb are in green, and the coordinator and the comma the predict them are in red. I tried to speak Spain, and by my friend tired to speak English. Uh, Alessandro played football, so Maria went shopping. Alexandro played football for Maria went to shopping. This for example the common tense. Number 3, complex tense. A complex tense has an independent clause joined by one or more dependent clause. A complex tense also has a subdenominator such as because, since, after, although, or when, or relative pronouns such as that, who, are, which in the following complex tense. Subject in yellow, verb are in green, and the subdenominator and the comma when to record are in red. For example, first, when he handled in his homework. So he forgot to give the teacher the last page. Number 2, the teacher entered the homework after she noticed the error. And number 3, the students are studying because they have a test tomorrow. Okay, number 3, I can explain about the proposition. A proposition is the extension expressing something true or false. A proposition is the part of the meaning of the clause or sentence is the conscience. Dispersion is such thing as the voice of the illustration for of the clause. The proposition may be related to other unit in this kind such interpersonal relation, such temporal relations and regional relations. For example, first, the common content of each of the following outline is the proposition. First, Alec ate the banana. 2. The banana was eaten by Alec. The 3. Did Alec eat the banana? 4. Alec ate the banana. And 5. All these alternatives may be analyzed the consisting of the predicate naming and the event of stage and the one more argument naming event of the participant in that event of stage. First, the activity is it, two, the egg is Alex, and the three, the painting is a banana. Okay, that was my explanation about the basic notions in semantic material. Sorry if there are mistakes from me, and thank you.